Hello guys, this is Despro channel and today we're going to talk with our graduate, Carlos. Hey Carlos, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing perfect. Thank you so much that you had a chance to speak with me today about your experience in our school. And I just have a couple questions, like a few questions that I would like to ask you about your experience. Could you please start with sharing where are you from and what did you do before you find out that you want to be a QA?
Oh, wow, that's great. Well, right now, as you see right behind me, I'm from Bay Area. I used to live in San Francisco and then I moved to San Jose. So only like about like 30-minute drive, but huge difference. I definitely miss living in the city, but it's nice. This is a nice change. Um, Basically, my background is actually in communications, video production. I actually wanted to live in Hollywood or, LA area to do movies, and that just didn't pan out.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So I've done a lot of other stuff, lots of different jobs, and I just never felt really fulfilled. I want to like do stuff. I want to like make things. I want to be a part of something. I actually I went into retail for a while and I started liking that, but I'm like, I want to do something more like cool and like smart because I think I don't think I'm like the smartest person, but I'm like, I think I can pick things up and, I can figure stuff out.
Well,
So,
yes, you definitely do. I'm your coordinator, so
yeah.
I can prove that you're so smart. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Never the smartest person though, but that's fine. I like learning from everybody. And so my journey started. I've done some contracting work, and that was my first taste into QA. I was actually working for a fruit company that is really big, and they do cool things like an iPhone. Uh, I was working with them, and I was a contractor, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. Um, and then, my contract had ended, and there's a lot of organizational shifts. So they're like, hey, we have to let you go because we reorganized the organization, but we really liked you, just keep trying, like learn stuff. So that's like really where I got my kick into QA. I did do another school. It was called SQA. They're great, they're cool, but the thing is, like, it was like their focus was just on automation testing only, and they taught me JavaScript, so I learned some JavaScript, so that was cool. But it was really hard because in the Bay Area, everyone's an engineer here.
Mhm.
So I'm small fry over here. I don't know. And one thing I definitely want to say is networking is actually really, really important. I think I just read a statistic today, like about 70% of the jobs that people are landing is from networking.
Yes,
So networking is really like having to understand, talking to people, putting yourself out there. That was something that I kind like. I think I'm an outgoing person, but it's like making that first step and trying to look is like super scary. But I started to do that. I started to, just talk to people and just ask people questions. Very curious person. So I guess that helps for QA.
yes, it is like 100%. It is helping, and you already got the job of your
Yeah.
dream. It's which is good thing in QA. You could also try to get to the company which is related to the field that you really dream about all your life, like a movie or something like that, and be QA in there. It's just so cool
Mhm.
because the way to grow, to where you want. Okay, I have another
Absolutely.
question. Yeah. How did you find about Test Pro School?
Test Pro School. I did a Google search because a lot of years have passed between doing that SQA's class and now. And I'm like, I really, really want to get back. I kind of like put it aside because I was just doing other things. And, COVID happened. And I was in a team that I didn't feel like I really fit in, and just other, just personal stuff. So COVID happened.
Yeah.
And I realized I'm like, I really need to make a change, and I got to make this change now. And like, I really had to dedicate. So I was doing Google searches, and I talked to a couple of people. I think I might have talked to you initially, like when I was trying to understand like the school. I forgot who, but just just the information, and just like I was just talked to by Test Pro, like if I was a regular, like we're having a conversation now, and I'm like, this is what I like. I don't want a pitchy. I don't want someone just to give me a sales pitch. I just want information, and that's why I really like Test Pro, because already I was able to like, I have a question, or like, what about this, and I was able to talk, and nobody made me feel like I was bothering them, and I didn't feel like, oh, you need to pay now, give us the money now, none of that. And I actually did the junior bug hunt because I'm like, I'm gonna give these guys a test.
Yeah.
I want to give them a try. So I did that 1 week, and it was really cool. Dennis, I think he was leading most of it, and he's a really funny guy and really cool, smart guy too, answering all the questions. And I'm like, I think I want to do like the full thing also. Like I want to go all the way and just do the regular full, boot camp, because this week was fun. I definitely need to learn more, but it was a great start. And I would tell people, if you're not sure about these things, start small and then, work your way up.
Sure, that sounds so nice. Thank you so much for sharing. So, when you start learning at Test Pro, when you start studying, did you find it difficult, or how was it for you after, of course, your JavaScript class that you was
Yeah.
taking?
Actually, it was a little, I wouldn't say difficult, but it's a paradigm shift. You have to think differently. And I had thought like that before, but not like really focused. So it was a challenge, but I think it was a good challenge, right? Because it made me really think about things, and um, I learned a lot of like they call it, nomenclature, like the way the words in the context, and that actually helped me in my interviews, because in my interviews, a lot of times they would ask me things, and not only would I be able to use some of the things that I learned in Test Pro, or a lot of stuff that I learned in Test Pro, but I can relate it to my real life experience, and that is definitely the key, which I think we're gonna talk about later on. But like how it went. But um, I would say for anyone, definitely take time. I had to go through a lot of lessons more than one time just to like let it sink in. You have to really dedicate yourself to this too. I'm fortunate, like I don't have a family. I'm here out, in the Bay Area by myself. I did have two jobs. So I was working two jobs. One of them was a frontline worker. So I was working at Whole Foods. So just imagine how crazy, you know, but it's like, you have to make sacrifices, and I was very tired, at the end of the day, but I just pushed myself, and you just got to do that.
Yes, and you actually did so great. Thank you so much. You're helping me right now with these students for
Yeah.
leading. So amazing. Thank you so much. And so, how was your job search? Like, how was it?
Job search was frustrating. It was good, frustrating, fun, sad, lots of emotions. So again, COVID has definitely changed the jobscape right now. I would tell anyone right now, if you're in a good company that does have QA, you should leverage that, because that's what I ended up doing. Leverage that, because that's what I ended up doing. But I did look in other places. It was the challenging part is when you're an outsider. Some multiple things. They don't know anything about you. There's not a history, so they just have to go by what you have on your resume and how you present yourself. So I decided to devise a strategy, because it took me, I started actually looking, I started the August, I think it was August group,
Yeah,
right? 13 was the August group. So
yeah.
I started then with my search already. Like
Really?
I already started, but nobody was getting in contact with me. So definitely do your homework and learn how to do your resume, because when I fixed my resume, that's when I started to get, contacts. So
Yeah.
definitely that resume review really does help. But in between all that, um, some things that I was noticing, like, so if you're doing outside, which is fine, after I tweaked my resume, then I started to get interest. So definitely resume is very, very, very important. Making sure you have that. The second thing is that the interviewing, so, talking like this, having that mentorship was so helpful. My mentor, his name is also Dennis. He was so great, and he gave me really good feedback. I call it tough love feedback. Like he told me stuff like I didn't really want to hear, and like like, you know, I have experience and stuff, but I don't have the QA experience because I'm not a QA. So he gave me like realistic, and he set realistic expectations. And you kind of have to like set those expectations for yourself, you know, be realistic about it. Like, if you want like this job, you're going to have to put in more effort. So I started to learn Python and other, you know, scripting things, which that's a whole nother story. But uh, you got to you have to know what you want and get a clear idea where you want to go. So that's the very, very first things. And that's what a lot of people forget to do, including me. Like, I was just all over the place, just applying everywhere.
Yeah, that's which is really good work and experience as well for the
Yeah.
future, of course, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now are you working right now? Yeah.
Yes, I am working. I do have a job. I have a job actually with the company I was with, and I was working through. But you know, and that was not even easy too, because they told me they had so many applicants that they told me, hey, just so you know, we're going to interview you like an outsider.
Oh,
So we're not interviewing because you've worked with us before. We're not interviewing with the fact that you have knowledge of the company. We're interviewing because we like what we saw on paper, and now we're going. I had 10 interviews.
oh wow.
Yeah, they put me through the ringer. Like, it
That's
was
amazing.
crazy. And they
But you made
spent,
it.
yeah, total interviewing time with all those interviews, because some of them were like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. I think I did a total of 9.5 hours of interviewing,
Wow.
spanned over 2 days. So they're like
Oh,
two,
that's
yeah, yeah.
easy, but it's
And
amazing that you
yeah,
did.
and by the way, this was the third time, the third set. So this was a third group. So two other groups I did the same thing with. So yeah, so it was exhausting.
You are the best. So you like your job right now. You
Yeah.
got it.
So yeah, so I definitely but nothing's worthwhile without hard work. You have to really put into hard work. I was putting in a lot of work. You know, I pushed away some friends, you know, I pushed away. I felt like bad. I would tell people, don't push away everybody around you, but let people know like, hey, I'm gonna interview, I gotta focus on this, like I really gotta study. Um, you really gotta like study and do it. Learn about the company culture, learn about the thing. Even though it's in the same company, this group I've never worked with, I never heard about them. So I would dug through a lot of, you know, and I just started asking people like, hey, do you know about this group? Hey, do you know about this group? So again, do your research, learn about it. And they told me two things. They said, one, they thought I was weird and funny. So I don't know. But two, what they liked is that I don't have a computer science degree. I don't have, you know, a formal, you know, my background's in communications, for crying out loud. I was supposed to be a journalist, and nobody wants fake news, right?
I
So,
know.
so, they told me that they really like that I'm curious and that I ask questions and that I'm willing to put in the effort to learn if there's something that I don't know. And Test Pro helps with that. You know, Test Pro helps, gives you the foundation blocks. And I hope for people is like, learning should not stop at Test Pro. You should continue to learn, because that will be the key of all the success. And that's the key of my success.
That's the best words ever. That's really I would ask about what is your like the last um last advice for all our students, but it just was the best, you know. I mean, there is
Yeah,
nothing else to say. Just thank you so much, Carlos, for sharing your experience with us, and we're happy that you are our students and helping us right now with our new group.
absolutely.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're in my group and I have a chance
Likewise.
to be with you and work with you every day. So yeah, thank you
It's
so
been
much.
wonderful. Yeah. I really appreciate just everything that you guys have done and all the help. And definitely like it's been really rewarding. And I think this was probably the best. I've done other boot camps for other things, but this is definitely by far the most rewarding one that I've had. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Carlos. You are the best. And I wish you grow, like, keep growing, keep learning, keep improving yourself, your skills, and your career as well. I
Yeah,
just wish you good luck from all
thank you.
Casper team.
Thank you. And hopefully after all of this, I would love to meet everybody in person in LA.
You will.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah.
soon.
That would be great.